Kalala Yahweh, Ba Shemu Mashak Yahweh Shema Yasharala Yahweh Alahayanawa Kadabomas Paka. Shalom, may peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. So yeah, this is part 2 of the sharp rebuke on Charleston White and all of his foolishness. Now, the clip that you saw at the beginning was an incident that happened maybe 1.5 years ago, roughly, where Charleston White had an event. He was on stage and he got to doing what Charleston White knows what to do best, and that's to run his mouth and talk noise. He got to doing that at his event, and a few members of his audience jumped on the stage and gave him an ass whooping. And he's getting just that right now spiritually for speaking on the matters of the Most High's business. He's getting that spiritually right now by the way of this sharp rebuke. So as we continue on here to part 2 of this sharp rebuke on Mr. White, we're going to start off here in Romans chapter 3. Right? Romans chapter 3, starting at verse 9. What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise. For we have before proved both Jews and Gentiles that they are all under sin. Now, as you all know, the Gentiles that they speak of here are those Hellenized Israelites, right? The Hellenized Israelites, the Israelites who have been living under the customs of their captives, right? More so in the time of Aksha'al, the Greeks. Now, in this case, Mr. Charleston White will be considered part of that Gentile crowd because he's a heathen. He's a heathen. He refuses to return back to his heritage and to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High with the faith of Yahweh Shai. So he indeed is a heathen. Verse 10, as it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. So when he was talking about how good the slaves were and how good his mama was, right, he was speaking a whole bunch of folly. Because it was already stated here in our scriptures that there is none good, not one. Yahweh Shai said it too. But see, Paul doubled down on it. There is none righteous. No, not one. Nobody but the Most High. We'll get that. Just hang tight. This is verse 11. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after Allahayah. Verse 12. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good. No, not one. So, Mr. Charleston White, as you were talking about how good your mama was and how good the slaves were, right? They weren't talking about no hate and this and that. Well, the Most High's word said there's none good. Your mom's not good, and the slaves that you're talking about aren't good. So you've been debunked there as well. And as I stated, Yahweh Shai himself said this same thing. Paul just doubled down on it. We'll go to that here in Matthew chapter 19. This is Matthew chapter 19, starting at verse 17. And he said unto them, why callest thou me good? Why callest me thou good? Because remember, this was the one guy who asked Yahweh Shai here in verse 16. Let's start there. And behold, one came unto him and said, good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? And Yahushua answered and said, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Well, Mr. Charleston White, you just said you're not going to believe anything pertaining to God that you can read, right? Well, you got to read to know the commandments. You have to read in order to know the commandments, Charleston White. So according to the word of the Most High, by the way of Yahushua, he says that in order for you to enter into life, you must keep the commandments. So, Mr. Charleston White, what are you doing? You're walking in death. You're not entering into life because you refuse to believe what you can read in this book. Verse 18, he saith unto him, which Yahushua said, thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So this was a summary from Yahushua. He was summarizing the law. And, we can find all of that in Exodus chapter 20, but he was summarizing it. He took those particular statutes as an overall summarized example for the man to follow. Keep those commandments. So what does that mean? It means that the law isn't done away with. For all you wicked anti-messiahs out there, right? All you wicked anti-messiahs that go by the doctrine of man and the philosophy of your damn church. Oh, Jesus nailed it to the cross. No, we just heard the Messiah, the Messiah who you call Jesus Christ, say, keep those laws. Now, let's go back to Romans. This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verses 1 through 3. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Yasharallah is that they might be saved. Why is that, Akshaal? Why did Akshaal write this? Why did the Most High inspire Akshaal to write this? Verse 2, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So, Mr. Charleston White, your mama had a zeal for the Most High, for whatever her teachings were to you about the Most High or a higher power, Salakia, was of her own righteousness. It wasn't according to true knowledge of the Most High. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in front of a camera on a podcast scoffing against the truth. Verse 3, for they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness. For they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness. For they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High. So yeah, you say your mama taught you about God? Well, your mama didn't submit to the righteousness of the Most High. And neither is your ass submitting to the righteousness of the Most High. That's why you on the camera talking noise. Let's go to the book of Acts now. This is the book of Acts, chapter 14, starting from the top. Acts chapter 14, starting from the top. And it came to pass in Iconium that they were they went both together into the synagogue of the Jews, and so spake, that a great multitude both of the Jews and also the Greeks believed. So there you have it. Those Gentiles that Akshal spoke of in, what was that? Romans chapter 3, that we began this second part of this rebuke on. Yeah, he's speaking of those Israelites that adopted the ways of the Greeks and that identified as Greeks. Right? It's no different from today. It's no different from today, because you have the same people who identify with being African American, right? Even we know that identity didn't start until the 1980s. They identify with that. They wholeheartedly believe they're an African American. So this is the same type of Hellenization that's going on here, that's been written into antiquity through these documents of the Bible. It's the same thing. And all throughout the world and the other countries, the same type of Israelites who have adopted that identity that has been placed upon them. It's not the identity that the Most High has given them. So these are those same Greeks. Verse 2, but the unbelieving Jews stirred up the Gentiles and made their minds evil affected against their brethren, or the brethren. All right, so that's exactly what, Salak, that's exactly what Mr. Charleston White did in that video. He adopted that same attitude that these unbelieving Jews that we're reading about here in Acts 14:2 did to those Gentiles, to those Israelite foreigners, right? The Israelites that adopted the ways of the heathen. He's doing the exact same thing to the same type of people. So his spirit is of this spirit that we're reading of right now. Verse 3. Long time therefore abode they, speaking boldly in Yahweh, which gave testimony unto the word of his grace, and granted signs and wonders to be done by their hands. Verse 4. But the multitude of the city was divided, and part held with the Jews, and part held with the apostles, Salakia, and part with the apostles. So that's the same thing that's going on right now. It's the same thing going on right now. You got the unbelieving, and then you have the believing. It's the same thing, even as we speak right now with this video. Now, let's take it to John, right? Let's get back into the New Testimony, or the second testimony, right? John chapter 6. John chapter 6, verse 64 and 65. But there are some of you that believe not, for Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. So even during the time Yahushua walked the earth, there was Israelites that didn't believe him. And this is the same scenario with Mr. Charleston White and others who have the same mentality and attitude as Mr. Charleston White. Now, as I stated before, while we were listening to his rant, I said, if you don't believe, if you can't understand it, it wasn't given to you to believe or to understand, right? You had to be chosen. The Most High has to make your understanding open to receive it. Verse 65 proves it. John chapter 6, verse 65. And he said, therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me, that no man can come unto me, that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. So even the Yahushua, The Messiah said that himself. You can't come to him unless it was given to you of his Father. You can't understand this word unless it was given unto you by the Most High. You can't receive this truth unless it's given to you by the Most High. Contrary to the doctrine that's pushed today in mainstream Christianity, that you're supposed to choose Jesus, you're supposed to come to Jesus. No, it doesn't work that way. You are chosen supernaturally to receive this truth. You are chosen supernaturally to accept and receive the Messiah. You can't choose the Messiah. The Messiah chooses you only if you're approved of the Father. Don't worry. We'll further dissect Mr. Charleston White and those that are like him. We'll further dissect him and his spirit and his mentality that he showed to us proudly. Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So yeah, while he was scoffing, talking about show us, Salakia, talking about show us, show us, show us, show us this, show us that, you blinded to it. Charleston White, you're blinded to it. You wasn't chosen to receive it. Verse 8, according to as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see and ears that they should not hear unto this day. Salakia. So furthermore, it's been proven. It's been proven furthermore that the Most High chooses who he wants to receive this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding pertaining to his business. Let's go here. To Psalms 97. This is Psalms 97, starting at verse 9. For thou, Yahweh, art high above all the earth. Thou art exalted far above all gods. Ye that love Yahweh hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them from out the hand of the wicked. So yeah, Mr. Charleston White, yeah, we hate evil. You talking about, oh, the slaves were good. They didn't go about preaching hate. Man, that's a defeated ass mindset that you had and that you portrayed to anybody who is under your impression or has any type of liking of you as a fan. You deceived all of them. Because as it's written here in Psalms 97 verse 10, if you love the Most High, you hate evil. And as a benefit of loving the Most High and hating evil, you are protected and you are delivered from the hand of the wicked. So that's why your ass got jumped by those men at your show. The Most High orchestrated that. He's showing you little by little that you're of ill will in his eyes. Because of the same stance that you portrayed to the world in that video, Mr. Charleston White. Let's keep on. Let's keep cutting this man up. Proverbs chapter 8, starting at verse 12. Let's go there. This is Proverbs chapter 8, starting at verse 12. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So that's how we're able to decipher you, Mr. Charleston White. This is why we can dissect your very existence through these scriptures, Mr. Charleston White, and anybody like you, any other fool just like your ass, we can dissect you. We can cut through the bone, marrow, and even through the spirit, nigga. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 12 is our documentation of that. And that's Proverbs chapter 8, verses 12, acting this very instant in this sharp rebuke. Verse 13, the fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way and the forward mouth do I hate. And Mr. Charleston White, you exude all of that. You exude evil, you exude pride, and you exude arrogance. And you boast of the evil way. And your mouth is forward. So therefore, we hate all of that. We hate all of that of you, nigga. Let's go to Job chapter 4. Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So Charleston, right? When you got jumped on stage, that was your iniquity and your wickedness catching up with you. See, the Most High is merciful. He's going to touch you in ways to not utterly destroy you all at once. But if he gets tired of you, he'll do that. But he'll touch you in ways as we witness you getting jumped on that stage, Mr. Charleston White. And that was your iniquity and your wickedness being repaid to you, Mr. Charleston White. Verse 9, by the blast of the Most High, they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. So the Most High is having mercy on you and allowing you to still enjoy your riches, enjoy your family, enjoy your fame, because he gave it to you at the end of the day. Even though you a wicked ass nigga, he still gave you those blessings. You and every other wicked fool just like you. But by the blast of the Most High, they perish. By the breath of his nostrils, they are consumed. And that's happening in every day. Every day that's happening. Let's take it back to Thorara. Exodus 17, verse 16. For he said, because Yahweh has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So when you talking about that, we're not taking a stand and that we need to make a church bigger than the tiny hats. Yeah, the Most High is already acting on all that for us. Right now, there's riots going on, and there's acts of war going on. The Most High is taking care of all of that, and it's shown here in Exodus 17, verse 16. Now let's take it to the Apocrypha and one of my favorite books, Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 4, verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and Yahweh shall fight for thee. So that goes back to what we just read in Exodus 17, 16. And because we strive for the truth, the Most High takes action on our behalf. And see, that moment you got jumped on stage, Mr. Charleston White, it happened after you said those scoffing words. Because though you said that a few years ago, it still holds relevancy today. And that's why it was brought to my attention to do the sharp rebuke on you, Mr. Charleston White. The Most High remembered what you said, Mr. Charleston White. And it's already been recorded that the Most High has pulled up on you since you said that. And it's probably been other instances that haven't been documented where you got your ass whooped, Mr. Charleston White, and even more. But yeah, that was the Most High fighting for us, Mr. Charleston White. Let's take it to the book of Revelation. So what was that you were saying? You don't believe anything you can read about God, huh? Huh? Well, we're going to show you how ignorant your ass is. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth. What? Mr. Wright. Blessed is he that readeth. Blessed is he that readeth, Mr. Charleston White. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Now is the worst time to have an attitude such as Mr. Charleston White. You're not going to read the good book, the scriptures. You're not going to believe the scriptures. You're a fool. You're a damn fool. You're a dead person walking. You're a dead person walking. Let's go back to Tharara. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23. And we're going to read verses 20 through 22. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then would I be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries. So this is the Most High putting in our law that we are to follow after Yahushua. And if we follow after Yahushua in the honor of the Most High's righteousness, the Most High then becomes the enemy to our enemies and an adversary to our adversaries. So, Mr. Charleston White, you made yourself an enemy of us. So therefore, you are also an enemy of the Most High. And that's why you've had such things happen to you, such as getting your ass whooped at your own show. Yeah, because you are an enemy of the Most High. That's why that happened. And that's why you have all these enemies who want to knock your head off. That's why you have these enemies that maybe even want to take you out. Because of all the foolishness that you say out there in them streets and all those podcasts and against particular individuals. Right? It doesn't matter if you have connections with the police department neither, Mr. Charleston White. Because, yeah, we've seen that podcast of you and your special made badge talking about you're the special police. We've seen that. But that's not going to protect you from what the Most High wants to do to you, Mr. Charleston White. Because at the end of the day, the Most High runs the police department, Mr. Charleston White. Yeah, so you can't win being an adversary of the Most High. You can't win. And by that video that we all witnessed, you made yourself an adversary of the Most High, speaking against the Israelites as you did. Woe unto you. Woe unto you. Woe unto you. We don't even have to touch you. Your own devices are going to catch up with you with all the wickedness that you're connected to. All the wickedness that and the folly that you speak is going to catch up with you. That's why those men jumped on stage and whooped your ass. The wicked is going to handle you because you are wicked yourself. Yeah. Let's go to Isaiah here. This is Isaiah 30, verse 9, starting at verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. So, Mr. Charleston White, you're a part of those rebellious and lying children that doesn't want to hear the law of Yahweh because what did you say? You don't believe nothing that you can read about God. Well, he left this manuscript for us to read like that, to know his business and to know what pleases him and what displeases him. So therefore, you're of those rebellious people. Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophecy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things. Prophecy deceits. Isn't that what you did? Show us, nigga. Show us. Show us. Stop telling us. Show us. Yeah. Yeah. Isaiah 30 and 10 already called that foolishness out, Mr. Charleston White. As I said, you're not saying nothing new. You're getting picked apart surgically through these scriptures, nigga. Verse 11, get you out of the way, turn us out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. That's your whole mentality. And fools just like you. That's y'all's whole mentality. Verse 12, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, Mr. Charleston White, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be unto you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall whose breaking comes suddenly at an instant. So it's being charged against you and it's building up for your destruction. Woe unto you, Mr. Charleston White, and every fool that thinks just like your ass. Woe unto you and them. We're going to go to the book of 2 Peter now. 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 20. We're going to read 20 and 21. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation. So how you were talking about, it's your interpretation. Every pastor's interpretation and their philosophy on how they see about God. Well, isn't that yours too? You don't believe anything you can read about the Most High, so therefore you go off your own understanding and your own private interpretation, which came from your mother, right? That's your understanding, and that's your prophecy. That's your interpretation. It's private, right? You knowing about God through your mother is a private interpretation, and no scripture is of private interpretation. So those pastors, to your mama, to any other fool that wants to speak on these scriptures and they coming off their own interpretation, their own philosophy and doctrine, no, y'all are false. Verse 21. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man. So it didn't come by your mama, nigga. Your mama is not a prophet, and she was establishing her own righteousness, as we said before. Verse 21 said, what? For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of the Most High. Holy men, not holy women, holy men. So your mama was dead wrong, Mr. Charleston White. But holy men of the Most High spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. So yeah, you receive private interpretation. You cleave to private interpretation. Therefore, you're full of ignorance. You don't have any true knowledge. You or no other scoffing ass fool like you have true knowledge pertaining to the Most High's business. Furthermore, we'll go to one of my favorite scriptures. Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Mashiach. So when you were talking about show me Jesus, show me Gandhi, show me a Muhammad, yeah, your mind is in all these other different winds of doctrine and philosophy. Yeah, you're just wrapped up in foolishness with your wandering mind, nigga. Furthermore, we'll go to another favorite precept of mine. Well, not mine precept, but it's a precept that I hold dearly in my spirit. And that is Ephesians 4:14. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and the cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. So you thinking about Caesar Borgia, however you say his last name. You're thinking about Gandhi, and you're thinking about the false prophet Muhammad. You're carried about and tossed to and fro with all those different winds of doctrine. You're given in to their cunning craftiness, and you are totally deceived by them, wanting us to show you some wicked stuff like that. And they're not even of Yasharallah to be of truth. Yeah, we'll get that in the book of Psalms. We'll get that in the book of Psalms. Psalms 147. Psalms 147 verses 19 through 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. So it is the Hebrew Israelites who have the truth, because the Most High is dealing with us on that level to truly know his business. Verse 20. He had not dealt so with any nation. He didn't deal like that with Gandhi. He didn't deal like that with Caesar Borgia, the world's Jesus Christ. Caesar Borgia, the white Christ. Yeah, he didn't deal with him like that. He didn't deal with the false prophet Muhammad, because we know Muhammad wasn't an Israelite. None of those three that you mentioned were Israelites, Mr. Charleston White. Verse 20, he had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. So that argument's cut to shreds. Cut all the way to shreds. And you speak like this, why? Why, Mr. Charleston White? Why do you speak like that? Why do you have such a thought process? Yeah, we're going to dissect that too. Romans chapter 8, verses 6 through 8. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Mr. Charleston White, you are not spiritually minded. Verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. That's why you don't believe nothing you can read about the Most High, because you got that carnal, wicked mind, Mr. Charleston White. Verse 8, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. That's why you on stage with a shiesty on. You on stage wearing a shiesty, and getting your ass whooped at your own event. You too old to be in those type of shenanigans, Mr. Charleston White. You are in your 50s. What business does a 50-something-year-old man have wearing shiesties and getting jumped and beat up, wearing a shiesty, wearing a shiesty? Nah, you're in all type of foolishness because of that carnal mind that you have. Let's go to the book of Proverbs 29. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in Yahweh shall be safe. Yeah, the fear of man bringeth a snare. So you indeed fear man. You don't fear the Most High. That's why you don't want to believe anything you can read in this book. You rather it be told to you by man. You rather dwell on man's wisdom and understanding, his limited, finite wisdom and understanding. So therefore, you got snares set for you, Mr. Charleston White. Let's get this here. Jeremiah 17, verse 9. So yeah, you follow your wicked heart, your wicked understanding. And if you had any true knowledge, you know that's not the way to go about trying to receive knowledge of this life pertaining to the Most High's business. Jeremiah 17, verses 9 through 10. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So you're deceived by your own heart. You're deceived by your own mind, man. Yahweh searches the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. That's why you got your ass whooped on stage, Mr. Charleston White. All right. Let's take it back to Psalms. Psalm 145. Salak. This is Psalms 145, verse 20. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. Salakia. So yeah, if you're not loving the Most High, he's going to destroy you. If you don't love the Most High, he's going to destroy you. Psalm 145, verse 20. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. So, Mr. Charleston White, you're marked to be destroyed because you don't truly love the Most High. And we know you don't truly love the Most High because of how you act and what you just professed to us, Mr. Charleston White. Yeah, let's get proof of that. How do we know you don't love the Most High? This is how we know. 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. How do you know how to keep his commandments if you're not reading, Mr. Charleston White? If you don't believe what you can read on the Most High, how are you keeping his commandments? You're not. So therefore, you don't love the Most High. So as Psalm 145 and 20 stated, he preserved them that love him, but the wicked he destroys. So that makes you a wicked man, Mr. Charleston, right? You and everybody like you. It makes y'all wicked and marked to be destroyed. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 30. And we'll close out with this. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30. Wherefore Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, saith, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father shall walk before me forever. But now Yahweh saith, be it far from me, for them that honor me, I will honor. How do you honor the Most High? By keeping his commandments. How do you keep his commandments? By studying and knowing his word and acting, rehearsing what he tells you to do. For them that honor me, I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. So the fact that you don't want to read or believe anything that you can read on the Most High, you despise the Most High, Mr. Charleston White. Therefore, you are lightly esteemed. You and every other scoffing ass fool like you. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied to all of you who have been edified and that are walking in the truth of the Most High. Boy, Shema Mashak Yavashah.